Hello, it is the 9th for sure today. Yesterday I wasn't sure, but today I know it's April the 9th, Thursday. So what do you think of everything that's going on? It's starting to get sort of draconian, I would think. We're into our third week shutdown, and you know, you're going along with it. You sort of can see the sense in a way. Then a lot of questions start to rise. And of course, when you ask questions, everybody has a label for you, but that's just the way I am. I always ask questions. Like, what if you discovered that countries a few years ago spent a lot of money and time doing exercises on what if a pandemic hit? Supposedly to get ready for such an event. Now, what if you discovered they actually did that? Would the question arise, why is everyone so ill-prepared with gear, masks, ventilators? Why is everything so ill-prepared? Would you say, well, maybe they just wanted to sort of have a fun couple of weeks, waste taxpayers' money doing the what-if thing? It's interesting. What if you discovered that more people will die of cancer than will die of the Wuhan virus, or whatever you want to call it? I call it the playing tag with Wuhan, but some people have a label for that. That's where it's apparently started. What if you discovered that more people will die from heart attacks and strokes than from the Wuhan virus? What if you discovered more people will die from automobile accidents than the Wuhan virus? What if you discovered that more people will die from prescription drugs than will die from the Wuhan virus? What if you discovered that more people would die from mistakes made in hospitals than from the Wuhan virus? What if you discovered all that? Would you be prepared to go into lockdown and shut the country down for all of that? Interesting question. Another thing I find really interesting is flattening the curve. I mean, you see the sense to it. And when you think of flatlining, what do you normally think in medical terms? If all the electronic equipment you're attached to is a flat line, what the hell does that mean? Then the same can be said for the economy. They're talking maybe June, maybe longer. What if you flatline your economy for that long? As Dr. Martinson has said, you know, the bullshit jobs aren't going to be there when you wake up. It's an interesting thought. No, it's sort of a one-if day. I guess as we're heading into that death and resurrection season, these sort of questions pop into your mind. And I'm watching the scenarios that our federal government have laid out this morning. And the doctor said, well, we're not sure where we are. You can review, they'll play that over and over again, your whole speech, but that phrase stuck out. We have all this, but we don't really know where we are. Why is that? You know, we're not really testing, and how come that is? Why aren't we testing? And some say, well, we don't know what to test for. Does that give you confidence when you're listening to these people who are supposed to be in charge of this thing, be on top of this thing? And I realize it's maybe brand new, you know, wherever it came from. Well, it started in Wuhan, so that's why I call it playing tag with Wuhan. Come out of a lab, and people say, well, no, nobody would have released it. Well, it could have been released accidentally, who knows? And when you look at regimes, especially in the East, if you go back to Mao, what did Mao do as he took control? He put the uneducated farmers and peasants, people didn't know much, in charge, sort of thing, or gave them the feeling that they were in charge. Rat on your neighbors, inform everybody else. Get rid of the intelligent folks. Get rid of the poets, the philosophers, the doctors, the teachers, the lawyers. Because now you have a group of people all dressed in the same little hat and jacket and the same little red book. Even they had to just orally memorize it because a lot of these people couldn't read. And whether it was right or wrong, Mao took over. A lot of people died. Now Xi Jinping is the same way. The CCP, Chinese Communist Party, don't give a rat's ass about people. So when you say they wouldn't play with this because they wouldn't hurt their own people, they don't give a care. They don't really care too much about their people in the field. You'll lose 1 million, we still have 1 billion left, sort of thing. You know, you just look how people are totally controlled. Now, that's another question that comes up. Maybe we're heading into that. You know, we're pretty passive. We're all staying home. We're all going along with this theory. And because we all have a sense if we could stop the spread, we'll all be okay. But then some people are saying, well, it's coming, and this is just the first wave. It's going to come in waves and waves and waves. And I live by the ocean, so I understand waves. And that's a daunting thought as well. Do we stay home until the waves are gone? Interesting thought. You know, I'm not sure what you're thinking, or if you are thinking. A lot of people just can't be bothered to think. And they listen to whatever CNN or CBC tells them. But when you got to look at the people who are directing this, and you peel back the onion, always have to peel back the onion. I mean, who is in control? Who is in control? And what did who say in the beginning? Well, who said, there's no problem here. China's doing a really good job. They're just exemplary how they're looking after this. So, and I'm repeating this, I've said it before. So the U.S. cut flights from China to the U.S. And who said that's sort of racist? That's not necessary. You don't have to interrupt people's lives and travel. Fly around the world, do your thing, keep normal. It's no problem here. This isn't a problem. Some doctors were saying looks like a pandemic. How long did it take who to realize that and sort of acknowledge that? It took them a hell of a long time, especially if they're experts supposed to be looking after these sort of things. You know, a lot of our tax money from around the world goes to support these clowns. So that was just the first part. And then the direction that comes out, keep flying around the world. Why would they tell people masks don't work? It's a good question. No, I still can't figure that one out. It's just, to me, it's common sense. Why would they tell us that this can't be, you can't catch this from somebody who doesn't show symptoms? Why would they tell us that it isn't aerosol? And they come out and said that. You know, I realize there's a lot of educated people that hang out with who, but how could they have got everything so wrong? And we have to realize who is who part of? Who is part of the United Nations? Have you ever heard of Agenda 21? Agenda 2030? The Tavistock Institute. It's all there too. It's all there. You can research it yourself. Of course, some of you probably have pocket full of labels as well that you're already put through and putting on. And that's okay. You can, labels make one feel good, use labels. But my challenge is to sort of research that yourself. Re-engineering society is what Tavistock is all about. And when you look at what we're all doing right now, we are just sort of going along with it. They're not sure when the person who is giving the instructions isn't sure where we are, isn't sure where we're going, we're probably, as he used to say, end up somewhere else. Or is this all by design? It's interesting. Like I say, it's a day of questions. Why is Bill Gates going on and on about vaccinations? Zuckerberg, Chan, and of course way on the side, the Clinton Foundation. Why are they all going on and on about what they go on about? Interesting. But if you research it, you might come up with an answer. Because it's got to be an answer that you're comfortable with, and the only way you do that is do some research and some thinking. I've got a link down below from Steve Forbes. He's got a short blurb on vaccinations and Bill Gates. And I think previously I've put links to Bill Gates in different years, different decades, what he said. And when you look at what's going on now. The other question is, the big question is, why aren't they testing to find out who's who and where we're at? But the other question is, who comes up with the vaccine first? Is that $1 billion payday? Is that what they're holding us all in abeyance for, so we all have to get a vaccine? You'd say people wouldn't do that to us. Of course they would. Some states already, kid can't go to school, they're not vaccinated. Some states it's against the law not to get a vaccination, whether you agree with it or not. You're not in charge of your own body sort of thing, somebody else is. Just crazy questions. I'm not sure where you're at this, but you're just sort of rolling along happy to be at home, getting paid, and not thinking what's going to happen, especially if this is coming in waves. Sort of scary. Just some thoughts on this, going into this weekend of death and resurrection. Take care. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.